Welcome to a world where people are fixated on nothing more than watching individuals beat the life out of the first unattractive loser they encounter. People crave attention and want to earn big. Our main guy, Hoban, gets the guts to stand up for himself and in return gets a fan following. Will Hoban be the next viral sensation? Well, keep watching. Initially, we meet one of the more typical content creators, Paco, who is currently celebrating his milestone of 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. With all the clout he has gained, he has managed to connect with one of his classmates, Rumi. She is a guest on his channel and a new YouTuber herself, and she already knows how to beat the algorithm. Paco asks her about her channel, to which she replies that she primarily does makeup tutorials. But judging by what she did to the poor soul who offered to be her model, you are better off doing it yourself in a dark room. Hoban obviously was not foolish enough to agree to this, but the threat of getting your face smashed in can be a strong motivator. Hoban makes a fool of himself for the camera, trying to force the most unnatural smile you have ever seen, but once he's alone, his true feelings on the matter are revealed. The only reason he puts up with all the abuse is because while Paco is as dumb as a bag of rocks with his channel, he is a wealthy idiot because he knows how to rake in the money. Rumi does not have as much of a following as he does, but all she has to do is put her assets on stream once and the donations start rolling in. On the other hand, Hoban has literally nothing to leverage. He's not intelligent, he's not rich, and he's just plain unattractive. So the only option for someone like him is to endure and accept that he has nothing. When he returns to the classroom, he is greeted by a kick to the stomach from another classmate, who is angry because Hoban's unattractive face violates community guidelines for being too destructive. This is Snapper, and he's the cameraman for Paco, as well as a member of a delinquent group. However, in a fight, he's an absolute coward, so one look at Hoban scares him enough to back off for a moment. He looks around the room and regains confidence since he's got friends to back him up. Snapper volunteered to be Paco's cameraman so he could piggyback off his friend's success, and the same goes for Rumi, who managed to gain over 30,000 in revenue in 20 minutes. Those figures have Hoban shocked to his core since he suffers from being chronically broke. He starts thinking it may be time for him to start a YouTube channel as well, but Snapper was also thinking the exact same thing. He goes over to Paco and asks what it would take for him to start a YouTube channel, and as his bro, Paco is willing to help, but he's going to need an adult to help him sign up since minors aren't allowed to receive the revenue. He'll need his parents to let him use their bank account, but that's going to be a problem for him since he's a terrible son and got caught stealing money from them. So they're not on good terms. Snapper then comes up with a brilliant idea and walks over to Hoban, who's still lying on the floor. He asks him if his mother is still alive since he knows she's pretty sick, and since she's not using the account right now, he tells Hoban to go steal his dying mother's bank account because he wants to use it. The others laugh at Hoban, and this is a lot of disrespect being thrown his way, which most people wouldn't let slide, but it's a 3-on-1 right now, so even if he wants to punch them all badly, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Hoban later goes to the hospital to visit his mother, who's trying her best to keep a cheery face for him, but Hoban knows her condition isn't getting much better. His mother notices all the bruises on his face, and she is really worried for the well-being of her son. Since something is obviously wrong, Hoban just plays it off and denies ever getting into a fight just so he doesn't worry his mother. He heads downstairs after seeing his mother has to pay the hospital bill of 30,000. To him, that's a whole week of flipping patties just to pay for her bills. But then other people make that much in 20 minutes without even trying. He hates how unfair life is, but he still has some hope left in him because he gets to be close to his crush, Bomi, but with his luck, I won't be surprised if she starts seeing Paco for the clout. Bomi asks Hoban if he knows where all the beef patties are, so he points her to the walk-in refrigerator, and she thanks him. Hoban isn't the only one who's fawning over Bomi because she's basically the idol of the restaurant, but just getting to look at her makes him happy. Just then, Hoban hears a very familiar voice walk in. It's Paco. He doesn't want to be spotted in case Paco came to mess with him, but he is shocked to hear Paco came to see Bomi because she's gone viral for being hot at Mickey D's. Paco already has a plan to eventually hook up with her, starting with a challenge for her to make a whole burger in 30 seconds. If she can't, she has to give him her phone number. He's really backing her into a corner, but Hoban knows it will be impossible for her to make the burger when she's still new. He has to do something before Paco ruins his chances with Bomi. Before Paco even realizes it, Hoban finishes making the burger, places it on the counter, and explains that he made everything the exact way Paco wanted, even with the flag on top, so Paco should hurry up and leave. He knows he will get beat up at school by Paco tomorrow for what he just did, but it was worth it to keep Bomi out of his clutches, and it may have even earned him some affection points with her. Later that night, Hoban returns home, where he is having ramen for dinner. He's got a problem since Snapper threatened him into letting him stream in his house, and he even got Hoban to hand over his mother's bank account details too. On top of that, the ramen he's cooking isn't even for him, so Hoban spits in it before handing it over to Snapper. Snapper is there making 30,000 in donations while in someone else's home, so Hoban thinks about getting him to share some of that revenue for using his house. However, as Hoban walks over to Snapper, he trips over the extension cable, inadvertently disconnecting Snapper's game and dumping the hot, spit-filled bowl of ramen on his face. Snapper is enraged and begins beating down on Hoban for costing him 30,000 in donations, and Hoban can't believe he's letting someone beat him up inside his own home. But then Snapper crosses a line when he tells Hoban that he's probably the reason his mother has cancer. In that moment, something inside him snaps. He grabs some kimchi and throws it in Snapper's face before giving him the most deserved uppercut of his life. Snapper punches him back, but honestly, he hits like a wimp, so Hoban is able to tank it and keep fighting. Standing up for himself isn't as big of a deal as he had always thought, so he grabs some more kimchi and begins throwing it at Snapper, all while the camera is still recording. Elsewhere in the city, a girl sees two teenage boys fighting with food in their boxers. They don't have her respect, but they've got her interest. After the fight ends and Snapper is kicked out, Hoban is left with a trash house and starts to feel the pain now that the adrenaline is wearing off. He's also starting to worry about how much it will cost to fix all the damage that was done, but he doesn't want to think about it, so he just rolls up on the floor and goes to sleep. The next morning, Hoban gets a call from Snapper, who is panicking badly. He yells for Hoban to take the video down, but Hoban doesn't know what he's talking about. Hoban thought the stream was disconnected when the computer went off, but the webcam never lost power, so everything that happened was caught in 4K. Snapper explains that the video of their fight was uploaded to New 2 and his parents are going to kill him if they see it. Not to mention how bad it looks to lose to someone fighting with kimchi. Hoban can't believe what he's hearing, so he goes to New 2 to see for himself, and the video is actually online in all its kimchi fighting glory. Overnight, it has spread across the world, so Hoban worries that he has gone from being bullied locally to being bullied internationally, but just as he is about to delete the video to save himself any further embarrassment, he notices a comment thread talking about how the number of views equates to revenue generated. It's about 0.1 yen per view, and the video already has over 10 million views, so Hoban has made 1 million yen overnight. In school, all the students have already seen the kimchi fight, and Snapper is lamenting over the fact that his social status has hit rock bottom over this video. He spent so much time sucking up to Paco to climb the social ladder, so he's got to do something to assert his dominance soon. He looks for an easy target and goes over to the class geek to smack him around a bit, but after everyone has seen him lose to kimchi, his social standing is so bad that even the loser has the confidence to beat him up in the middle of class. Snapper's usual strategy of relying on Paco to scare people isn't going to work anymore since Paco has ditched him already. Meanwhile, Hoban has just gotten to the hospital, where they inform him that the cost of his mother's treatment for the week has gone up to 120,000, which would be a problem if he wasn't rich now. Outside, Hoban checks on the video and sees that the view count is still going up, so he's making a lot more money. Suddenly, Snapper Sucker punches him out of nowhere. Snapper is upset that he's become a laughingstock because of Hoban's video, so he starts hassling him for half the money made from the views. Hoban isn't the same wimp he was before, so he goes straight for the Mets and starts fighting. There's no way he would give Snapper any of the money since it's all in his mom's account and it was her details that he used to create the stream. The fight continues, but this time, Hoban isn't scared at all since he has already fought Snapper once before, so this time seems easier. Late into the evening, Hoban is comforting a crying Snapper, but he maintains that he still won't hand over any of the money from the video. That's when Snapper shows him a video he recorded of their fight just now, so Hoban asks if he intends to post that one as well, but Snapper is smarter than that. If he tries posting this, people will just insult both of them. Snapper came here today to ask Hoban to join him because, with his help, they can both make a huge amount of money. Hoban may not like Snapper, but he does like money, so Snapper's deal sounds pretty tempting, especially since he was Paco's producer and helped get him where he is today. There's a lot about streaming that Hoban doesn't know, so Snapper offers to become his producer so that both of them can make a ton of money. Snapper thinks he is being slick and has Hoban hooked like a fool. He plans to make the account his own someday to regain his social status, and he'll use Hoban. Until he can make that happen, Hoban asks how he wants to split the money, so Snapper suggests that he take 90% of the profit and Hoban takes 10%. It looks like Hoban is about to agree to the terms, but he's not an idiot. Only a moron would agree to such a terrible deal, and they are not friends in the first place, so he flips Snapper off and begins walking away. Snapper starts panicking since his only shot at getting back to where he was is to cooperate with Hoban, so he starts trying to make a deal by lowering the percentage. But Hoban doesn't seem interested anymore. Snapper finally caves and agrees to do it with only 10% for himself, so Hoban agrees as well and asks what kind of content he had in mind. Snapper underestimated Hoban's intelligence, but since this is the deal he managed to get, he tells Hoban about his idea. They'll be making videos about Hoban.